What's up YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt, and do your own DD.
What's going on, guys? So today we're going to talk about ticker symbol MMAT, but of course we are. What the hell else would we talk about, right? We cover meta on this channel, and wow, what a crazy day we've had. As a matter of fact, we've had a pretty freaking crazy week, and I did have a feeling about this week being crazy. Didn't know whether it was going to be good, didn't know whether it was going to be bad. But in all honesty, we've kind of had a mixed bag of emotions when it really comes down to it. So let's go ahead and crack into this video and get started. So, as always, we like to start out with the indices, and as we know, today was a terrible day, as was the last couple of days in all honesty. So, the SPY finishing down 1.5%, the Dow finishing down 1%, and the Nasdaq finishing down a whopping 2%. It is just insane on how far down this stuff can come, and it's just, I don't know, you're going to notice how much we trend with the markets overall, and you're also going to notice how much more we come down against the markets, especially during short attacks, and it's been becoming more and more prevalent as we go. Now, if we go ahead and look at the internet, we're going to look at FinViz, of course, you're going to see that the entire market was red, of course, with the exception of Tesla. I don't know how that guy does it, but he does. He just keeps going and going and going, and just seems to never have a losing day. And you also did see a little bit of green in the airlines. A lot of good stuff has been happening with the airlines lately, so they've been seeing good earnings, things like that. You know, it's a good recovery play, so just keep that in mind, guys. If you're looking for a good, solid recovery play, the airlines may be a place for you to take harbor into some stuff like that. So, anyhow, also take a look at Yahoo Finance, stock market news. S&P 500 drops for the second straight day after Fed officials discuss a 0.5 point rate hike. Now, if you've been paying attention to my channel, you will know it is not a surprise. In May, they're going to come out with another rate hike, and I've already said expect a 0.5 point. I was actually expecting 0.75 point to a full point, and for them to just say a 0.5 point, I'm okay with that. I'm really not too upset. Overall, the market does have a lot of this factored in, and what you're seeing here is a lot of fear tactics. Believe it or not, everything is shorted. Everything. There's nothing out there that's not shorted, but it depends on the degree of short. So, things will get brought down on a short attack, and then on shares that are lent. So that's how I wanted to describe that. On shares that are lent. So it doesn't actually affect what it looks like in the now. And a lot of times these market makers, these hedge funds, will actually cover their shares quickly. So you'll never even notice it come across the books, and as far as it goes with like Ortex or Fintel, things like that. So the trading happens fast. Counterfeit shares are dumped in, failure to deliver is issued, they cover their stock overnight, their failures overnight, and pushes on in most tickers. That has not been happening as far as it goes with Meta and many other stocks, primarily meme stocks, primarily across the Russell 2000, and that's one of the most interesting things about all of it. The other thing we want to look at before we get started into Meta is our futures. So our futures are leaning pretty down right now. Dow Mini is down 155, Nasdaq Mini is down 77.75, S&P is the only one really looking totally flat, and the Russell looking a little bit flat as well. But again, we use these as a gauge for the next morning, and we're going to pay more attention to these in the morning to help better gauge what the market may or may not do for the trading session. Now, keep this also in mind that tomorrow is Friday. Friday is generally a down day for the market, not just Meta. Now, moving on to the stock. So, don't look at that. It's not yours yet. Stop looking at it. There we go. All right, so moving on to the stocks. First, let's go to the SPY. As you can see, doji candle right here, right in between the 50 and the 200-day MA. This is the daily chart for the SPY. This right here, to me, is a very bullish indicator for the SPY. You've seen two great green days, and now you've got a doji. It needs to make that decision, but I definitely think we're going to start seeing a little bit of upward action as far as it goes. We're due, guys. We're absolutely due. Plus, this is a crucial bounce level. As you've seen right here, it's kind of respecting it, okay? So just keep that in mind. Also, you're noticing the MACD is kind of starting to hook towards that signal line. Moving on to the Dow. Now, the Dow has made its mount. It is above that 200 MA. Again, this is extremely bullish, okay? So we're seeing that slight trend reversal. The MACD is sitting above the signal line, and all of that is above the histogram. Again, super bullish. We're in neutral territory on the RSI, and that's on the Dow. Now, we are looking at the indices because that's what you want to look at overall. Now, here's the one that we're in, the Nasdaq. Now, the Nasdaq, again, we're showing a doji candle. Now, here's the big problem. The Nasdaq has had an issue getting above that 200-day MA. We've seen the SPY jump. We've seen the Dow jump, but the Nasdaq just can't seem to crack that line. And it did get shoved down, and currently we are right below this level of support that I drew up way back here that we bounced off of. Hoping to see us make that U-shaped breakout that we did back here and get back above it so we can try and test that 200 MA again. If not, you're looking at this level of support right here to hold up, right down here, as it did back here. It might make a slight break of it and then come back up. But again, it's all dependent on what happens overall with the markets. You know, what's going on in the world geopolitically. There's so many factors involved in it. Moving on, let's talk about Meta. I'm done talking about the indices. So, what the hell is this bullshit, right? Let's back up. What's this? Holy crap. Complete consolidation. What's this? So, as we know, on Monday, John Berta did come out. Let's see here. I've got that up right here. John Berta came out and said, look for BS on Reddit, StockTwits, Twitter, Benzinga, Seeking Alpha, and all being coordinated. Some of these people I am hearing are Saskatchewan, State Street, Citadel, Citron, BlackRock. They want to scare you out of your stock. Again, I have not confirmed, but I have been told. When John Berta speaks, people tend to listen, including me. If you scroll down a little further for your information, rumor has it that a short and distorted attack on MMTLP and MMAT is about to take place. I have not confirmed, but recent price action leads to believe that this is getting correct. Yes. We have been shorted the hell out of. Now, I also have put this out on Twitter recently. I'm going to put a link to this in the description of this video. You guys need to all go here and read this. This is Seeking Alpha, and this is the anatomy of a short attack. And one of the most important things you want to see is how this comes out. Analyst reports, planting moles in target companies. I'm wondering if maybe there isn't something going on and nobody knows about it. Frivolous SEC investigations. We know that we have some of those going on. Class action lawsuits. We've been seeing those in the past. Interfere with target companies, customers, financings, and etc. So if you remember correctly, Ken did come out not too long ago and say that sometimes the speculation might interfere with the dealings of other companies. Sometimes that is what they're talking about. That speculation can interfere with other companies, and it's not always good. So just keep that in mind, that could be one of the things doing it. Pulling margin from long customers. If you remember correctly, a couple months ago, I'm a long customer. I got margin called for no apparent reason. I got it cleared up. Nothing happened with it, but I got margin called. And there was a ton of other people that got margin called too on cash accounts. You can't margin a cash account. You can't do it. So that's another one. Paid bashers. Go look at Twitter. Go look at StockTwits. Go look at Reddit. All kinds of bashers out there, and I would be absolutely willing to bet they're paid, including the ones, let's go back over here and just take a look at this. The ones like, let's see. Let's just click right here. I'm sure we can find one of them. Well, I blocked a bunch of them, so probably not. Anyhow, you're going to see that there's a lot of people out there that have started accounts that maybe in the last couple of months, the only thing they've done is talk about Meta and Torch and bashed it. Holding bags because of George. Things like that. You're going to see a lot of stuff like that. They're paid bashers, paid shills that are trying to snuff you out. They're trying to give you false information, lie about the company, tell you one thing and it's actually another thing. Just, it's one of the many, many tactics that they use. So just keep that in mind. Know what you hold and ignore the FUD. Ignore the shills. That's the best advice I could give you in this kind of situation, is just be confident in what you hold. Be convicted in what you hold. Know what you hold. And if you are in the position to do so, buy, hold, buy, baby. It's been a while since I've been able to say that. Buy, hold, buy. That's right. We are actually at below the basement discount. And we're going to get to that right now. Let's go back over to our stock chart. So, as I was saying, what you're seeing here is most definitely short ladder attacks. And I think it's quite interesting that John Berta did point out State Street there. I do believe I happen to have said that just because State Street bought a whole bunch of shares doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bullish thing. Them holding that many shares just means they have the ability to lend those shares out to other broker dealers, other shorters, hedge funds, things like that, and create this downtrend. They have the ability to do that because they hold the shares, so they can lend them. They're theirs. And that's what creates that right there. So again, like I said before on that, just because they got this big gigantic position doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. State Street, BlackRock, companies like that, Citadel, they own the world. All right, they do. They own everything. The next thing I want to talk about, we're going to go out to the one-day chart and take a look at this. So let's zoom way out. Let's get rid of all of these lines. And I want to do some comparison real quick before we go over to the internet stuff. Get rid of the lines. Where are the lines? Right there. Get rid of the lines. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. This right here was the merge. I've said it before. I basically forget everything from here back, with the exception of some support and resistance. This stuff right in here I have found to become relevant since we have come down into these levels. Just because this was price action that was in play with the meta transfer, moving torch and all that over, all of this price action was in play during that. So I've learned to bring this into the chart, and you've seen that. What you really want to pay attention to is look at this level that we've not quite hit, but we're at. So this right here, we're at 140, okay, right in here. The last time this happened, it made this dip like this. Look what happened. Look at where we're at, guys. It made that nice little dip right in here. Zoom in. Went from 170s, 150s. This is a great big old candle, and just dipped right down. It actually went below $1, and believe you me, if it goes below $1 again, I'm loading. I mean, everything I've got, I'm going to throw it at it. Everything. I may actually just go full all in. I don't think I've ever gone all in on anything ever in my life. I may have to do it. I might sell my AMC. I didn't die. I might do it though. Anyway, it's a little scary. Anyhow, so if it does happen to hit this level right here again, I'm all over it. But here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to point out. Every time you see these major squeezes, something important happens. Something that we're seeing right now. A level of consolidation and then a dip. After it has already hit a low. AMC. This is the big short squeeze that happened last year. Look what happened. Traveling good, shorted, traveling good, coming down. Now remember, we've known that we were a short squeeze for a while. Now keep in mind we are on the weekly chart as well right now, but what I want to point at is how it did. You know what? Go to the daily chart. Just so it's fair, let's go to the daily chart. Look at this. Trey started picking up on this way back in here, right? And when he started talking about it, let me see here. That would have been right in here. When he started talking about it, it made a dip to 191 and then picked up all the way up into the 5s and then 20s and then leveled out again. So it made a dip before its initial rip, okay? And then it pulled down. Look at where we're at. MMAT, go to the weekly, no, go to the 1 day. All right, so it's came up, it made a dip, and it's been coming down, right? Steadily down. And then it consolidated, right? Here's your consolidation. So it made its lift, its dip, and it came down right here, and then it consolidated. But look, a dip before the rip. Let's move on. GME. Take a look. I'm on the 1 day. Okay, so we're fair time frame. Look at that dip. Now keep in mind, GME was trading much higher than that long before that. You just can't tell because of how the chart looks. But look at it. 28s, 40s. GME was actually a really healthy stock back in the day. And again, of course, it is again now. But look at that. It got shorted, manipulated all the way down to 257. Lowest point, dip, before the rip. Okay? Consolidation mode right before that dip. Look at that consolidation right before it. If I keep it on the screen. Right there. Let's make it bigger. Right before that dip, and then rip. Look, and it even still had time after that. So just keep that in mind. It's not like it's going to be right now. Let's move on to the next stock. Tesla. Dip. Before the rip. All-time lows. Right? Right here. You had a Tesla way back here. Trading flat. SPAC. Started to move. And then bang. Banger. Now remember, Tesla had done a lot of splits. A lot of different things. You know, there's a lot of time involved in here. This is the weekly chart. To go into the daily chart would be insane. But you can tell, what I'm getting at is, this is perfectly normal trading before a squeeze. This is what the short hedge funds do to snuff you out before the big boom, because they know something's coming. They know it's going to happen. It reaches its max pain, its maximum level of pain, of just downward trend before it pops, because margin finally gives in. A company can only be pulled down so much that actually has true good fundamentals and has investors holding it and has things going for it before finally something just makes it explode. A catalyst comes out, and we've been seeing some stuff happen this week. My feeling has been coming true. Just because I had a feeling doesn't mean it's going to be good, but it doesn't mean it was going to be bad either. So anyway, like I said, we're done talking about that except for this one. This is the one I never compare it to, but we're gonna. Take a look at this. This is actually the most accurate as far as chart goes. Please don't confuse this. This is, as far as the chart goes, accurate depiction of what's happening. We had a nice big lift. We were drugged down big time. This is OSTK. Yeah, I'm doing it. OSTK. I know there's a bunch of you out there just loving life right now. Oh my God, Smokey's comparing it to the one he doesn't ever compare it to. That's right, I am. And it's just because the chart looks almost identical. Big lift, shorted all the way down, all-time low. Get ready for the damn rip, guys. I'm telling you right freaking now, we are on the horizon. They know it's coming. They know something is coming. And that's why this is happening. This is happening because it's on the horizon. It's coming. It's fucking coming, guys. God, it's coming. I'm telling you right now, it's coming. George has a plan. Berta's in on it. We got Gardner Wade coming out talking. We've got just massive amounts of things that are just going on. It's going to explode. Gotta calm down. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the internet. Now that we're done talking about all of that, just comparing it to other stocks that have had major short squeezes in the past, looking at the price action, what it does just before the explosions actually happen. So we're going to go ahead and move on over to Ortex and talk about that. Ortex, utilization currently at 100%. Cost of borrows at 7.33%. The days to cover is at 9.19%. Shares on loans currently 51.04 million shares, which is 20% of the free float. Now remember, these days to cover is to cover all of these shares on loan, which includes all of the synthetics. No, I'm sorry. All of the shorted shares. I used the wrong word. Synthetics aren't included in that. Main reason being you can't count a synthetic share. We don't know how many synthetics are really out there, counterfeit shares, okay? We don't really know. There's no way of possibly knowing how many are really out there because they're not putting those on the books. You see FTDs, the failures to deliver, loom, but we haven't actually seen anything go to the threshold yet, so we can't confirm anything's still going on. In order to be put on the threshold list, you have to hold in any single short position. So any broker dealer that has multiple broker dealers, any single short position, 10,000, I think it's either $10,000 or 10,000 shares short before you even have to say anything, before it has to go on to the failure to deliver listing, or I'm sorry, the threshold listing. It has to be more than 10,000 failures to deliver. So that's what it is. Whew. You start talking and you just got to catch up to yourself. Anyway, so it has to be more than 10,000 failures to deliver to go to the threshold list in one single position. Okay? Multiple positions can have, 10,000 or less in each one of those. All right, carrying on. The Ortex estimated short interest percent of the free float is 16.5%, which is 41.82 million shares that are shorted into the market that we know of. The average number of days on loan, look at this. This is getting to be pretty impressive, is 81 days. 80.98, I'm freaking rounding up, guys. Also, the other thing you want to pay attention to is look at that security lending volume. What was our volume overall today, guys? Let's go back over to Meta so we can find that out. Quotes, looky there. 5.5 million in volume overall. That was our total volume today. Over half of that, now this does not include the volume, but over half of that volume, you would consider that to be just borrowing, them lending it and returning it, right? That doesn't count towards this volume. However, shorting would and whatnot, I want to point out that they are borrowing shares to drag this down at almost the rate of our full-on volume, okay? They know, and they're doing everything they can to prevent this from happening. Moving on, back to the internet. And then finally, the last thing we want to talk about on here is this stuff over here. This is your live updates, guys. This is stuff that happens intraday. So cost to borrow max is at 13.33%. The average at any given point in the day was 12.43%, and the minimum is 5.84%. That means this is the amount of money that they're paying to borrow the stock, to short it into the market, okay? That's what they pay to do that. And we did have an increase, according to Ortex, of 0.47% as far as goes with short interest. We know it was way more than that because we can tell we have chart exchange. So chart exchange, the entire off exchange dark pool was 57.87% of the volume today was, let's hit refresh. That's not right. You know what? I don't like chart exchange today. There we go. So they're saying that the total reported volume according to chart exchange is only 3.934 million in volume. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, considering Ortex is showing 5.5 million. Maybe that's the after hours. I don't know. I'm not digging into that right now. I'm trying to record a video. Anyhow, so going off of these numbers, you're at 4 million in total volume. 70% of that volume was short, and that's not even all of it. Let's hit refresh, see if that was updated. It was! Looky there. 70% of the overall volume. I swear I hit refresh a second ago. You saw that, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going nuts. Anyway, 70% of the overall volume today was short volume. Total reported volume was 4.5 million in total, and I do believe there was another million in after hours, roughly. So that's that. You are seeing that we are being freaking hammered on by short positions. When you are seeing this kind of short volume, and I pointed this out on my live stream yesterday, look at this. We average well over 60% short volume every single day. Every single day. There's a few days where we don't, but the vast majority of them over 60. If you were to compare that to many other stocks, not even close. We are defeating stocks when it comes down to our short volume. Is that good? No, I'm not saying that like I'm excited. However, it just shows you the potential we have and how we're not being truly shown what is actually happening. You also need to remember Torch. We still have a lot of shorts left from Torch. That stuff still has not been taken care of. All of those shorts positions will have to buy 2 of Meta to cover every one of those synthetic shares that still exist. So just keep that in mind. We have a big, gigantic explosion coming, and I can't freaking wait for it to happen. Moving on over to Fintel, really quick. 88.85 out of the 88.85 out of 100. That's 131 out of the 5,500 stocks on this list. Short share availability is currently 250,000 shares. That was as of 23 minutes ago. At one point today, we had no shares available to be lent from a leading prime brokerage. Just shows you, they're all being consumed. 8.83 was the short borrow fee rate today. Now, here we go. So, volume overall. So, they're showing the FINRA volume for today at 3 million in volume, which was 65% of the overall volume. Wow, FINRA is actually right compared to Chart Exchange for a switch. All right, and let's hit refresh, see if this is it all updated. 68.61% of the overall volume was short. They're actually showing the overall volume is the same as Chart Exchange. I wonder why Weeble's so off. Maybe it's after hours. I don't know. All right, so all of that's done. Let's talk about Twitter. Long video. Sorry, guys. We already covered John Berta. Gardner-Wade. So we've got Gardner-Wade out here. This is Gardner-Wade, Meta, CPO, zero concerns here, full speed ahead, know what you hold. Watch what happens to this MMAT spaceship when 6 warp drives get lit at once. Warp drives equal product divisions. Feel free to share. So that does not mean that we're building frickin' warp drives to take us to space. However, Elon Musk did say something about warp drives not too long ago, so funny that even gets said. However, speculation. Anyway. Right down here a little bit further. Shh, more than 6. Think about it. Automotive, medical, telecom, augmented reality, and the coming metaverse, aerospace and defense, security, sensor protection, solar energy, and green solutions to replace rare earth metals. Consumer electronics, better get a spacesuit. That's right, guys. Get ready. I actually have a spacesuit upstairs. It was a Halloween costume. I have to start wearing that. We're going to become space cadets. Definitely. Definitely. Okay, that was weird. Moving on. So, beyond that, people keep asking, are we sure that that's Gardner-Wade? Yeah, pretty sure. George Palikaris, Gardner-Wade 3, building warp drives at Metamaterials Tech, surfing the wave, right? Basically confirming that this is Gardner-Wade. He just went out there and said, here you go, guys. That's him. Better listen up. And then the one thing I do want to point out, I'm kind of proud of it. Where did it go? I don't know. I lost it. It was on my tweet. Anyway, he gave me basically the props, the old pat on the back, Smokey. I was pretty proud of that. I don't know where it went, though. Oh, well. So, George Palikaris on Twitter today. Double A. At Palikaris, thanks for all that you do, George. Amazing products and futuristic technology. Any updates for the MMTLP holders? As mentioned, when the questions at last meeting were cut short. Long MMAT preferred a holder here. Thanks. All I can say is at this stage is that we are having multiple weekly meetings across multiple teams, and we are moving forward as fast as we can with our plan. Again, he has a plan, and it will come to fruition. Move on down. Ben Hem. This guy here is a major meta bull, and I suggest anybody go out there and follow him. I follow him. Great guy. MMAT. Number 1, we got no debt. Number 2, development, then low-cost licensing model. C, nanotech. Number 3, almost finished largest CapEx projects. Number 4, increasing revenue, upside over time. 5, strong research to commercial connections and pipeline. Number 6 says George Palikaris. Q1 results by May 10th. By May 10th. We have a date for earnings. Crossing our fingers, they come out before that. That would be fantastic. If we can get earnings before the 1st of May would be even better. That would be by the end of next week. But May 10th, super awesome. The reason why, back over to the charts. Options chain. This is May 20th. We've already got 5,000 at the $2 strike, okay? We've got a lot of time, guys. Earnings gets released by May 10th. This $2 strike could go nuts. It could become very profitable very fast. It's only going to cost you about a nickel for 100 shares. The right to own 100 shares costs 5 cents, okay, per share. $3 strike can cost you 2 cents per share. It's the right to get them at these basement levels, right? So if something comes out on this earnings that sends this thing to the stratosphere, you now have the right to secure some more shares. You know what else that does? That forces hedge funds to have to come up with real, legitimate shares to sell you when you've exercised those. And that's what creates gamma squeezes, is the exercising of contracts, making hedge funds and broker dealers having to buy the underlying stock to give you those shares. That's all part of it. Most of the time, contracts are written naked. All right. So back over to the Twitter fields. And that was all we had from George there. Ben, he, him. This right here. This was very interesting, guys. Again, love this dude. This guy gives us everything. So this is the investor deck for this month. take a look at this. All kinds of good stuff. I suggest, again, you go follow him. I'm going to put a link to his Twitter page in the description of this video. But he finds all the good stuff. This is the investor deck, the most recent one. A lot of great stuff in here. Look at this. This is my fave right here. Gluco-wise, mammo-wise, rowdy-wise. This is neat. Molecular biosensor. That's cool. So, anywho. And then finally, the last thing I want to talk about. This article, again, I'm double stressing it, go read it. But Pidge and I are doing a live stream as of right now, tomorrow evening. Her and I are going to go live, Q&A, fixed everything. My live yesterday was flawless. I loved it. We're going to talk Divi. We're going to talk meta. We're going to just bullshit, shoot the shit, drink some beers, do some smoking, have a good time. I have reached out, look forward to this. I have reached out to John Berta. I am going to try and set up an interview with me, the bird, and John Berta. I would like to get some questions out there. Of course, Pidge has some questions she would like to get out there. And I'm going to see if we can arrange that. I've sent the message out there, and I am awaiting a confirmation. So once we can get that arranged, of course, be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be a recorded interview, so that way it can be edited. So, you know, it's right. It's not like this big, long, drawn-out thing. Who knows? Maybe he'll want to do it live. We'll see. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Extremely, extremely long. I do apologize for that. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do to make sure that these videos get out to your friends and family and to anybody you don't know. I mean, just share the shit out of this stuff, guys. The more you share, the more people find out about metamaterials and find out what they can actually get into. Peace.